Right now, in this very second, something is happening that you cannot see with your eyes. Your name is being spoken, not by a person, not by someone who knows your face or your story, but by a force so vast, so exact, so impossibly aware of every single detail of your life that it chose this exact moment to reach you. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Right now, as you breathe, as your eyes move across these words. And the question that should be burning inside you is not why me. The question is, are you ready to finally hear what has been waiting to reach you? Do not move, do not scroll. Do not look away even for a single second. Because what is coming in this message was not written for everyone. It was written for the one who almost gave up this week, but did not. It was written for the one who has been carrying something heavy in silence for far too long. It was written for you sitting exactly where you are right now, feeling exactly what you are feeling. Stay here, because this is the moment everything begins to shift. Before we go any further into this message, I want to pause for just a breath. If these words have ever found you on a hard night, if a message like this has ever helped you breathe a little easier, or helped you hold on just a little longer, then you already know the power of what this kind of content carries. This work is built purely on the desire to reach the person who needs it most. Somewhere out there, someone you will never meet is about to stumble across a message exactly like this one. They are tired. They are questioning everything. And these words will be the one thing that tells them to keep going. Now let us go deeper. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give, and it will be given to you, is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose, join the conversation, and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today, join our community, and see what God brings back into your life. Pay close attention. Do not scroll. There is a reason this found you today and not any other day. Think about the last few weeks of your life. Think about the weight you have been carrying that no one else fully understands. Think about the prayers you said quietly, the ones you whispered when the room was dark and no one was listening. Think about the moments you smiled on the outside while something deep inside you was still waiting, still hoping, still holding on to something it could not even name. The universe does not miss those moments. Heaven does not miss those prayers. And today, something extraordinary is happening in the invisible world around you. Hold on until the very end. You are standing at the edge of something that will change everything. Do not skip a single word, because the person who almost skipped this video is the exact person this message was sent for. Type "I am open" in the comments right now. If you feel something in your chest telling you this is meant for you, not just a comment, a declaration, a signal to heaven that your heart is ready to receive what has already been prepared for your life. Do not skip. Stay with me. Here is what most people do not understand about divine timing. God does not operate on a clock. You can see He does not send signs in neat packages with labels and instructions. He sends them hidden inside ordinary moments, inside a video that your thumb hesitated over before pressing play, inside a feeling that made you slow down before scrolling past. That hesitation was not random. That pause was not a coincidence. Something inside you recognized what was coming before your mind could even process it. That recognition is not anxiety. It is not imagination. It is your spirit responding to a frequency that has been moving toward you for longer than you realize. Hold on until the end. Something enormous is unfolding. Do not scroll now. Not when you are this close. I want you to picture something very clearly. Picture a room that exists beyond what human eyes can see. A place where your name was written before you were born. And in that room today, something shifted. Not because you are perfect. Not because you have everything figured out. Not because your life looks the way you imagined it would by now, but because of something else entirely. Because of the quiet strength you have carried through seasons that would have broken most people. Because of the love you kept giving even when it did not come back to you the way you deserved. Because of the nights you chose to keep going when giving up would have been so much easier. Those moments were seen, every single one of them. Pay close attention. Do not move. This is the part that will change something inside you. You were not forgotten in those seasons. You were being prepared. There is a difference between waiting and being prepared. Most people call it waiting because it feels like nothing is happening. But heaven calls it preparation because everything is being put into place so that when the door opens, you are ready to walk through it at full speed. And that door, it is moving right now. Hold on until the very end. You are about to find out why. Do not skip. Here is something that most people in your life do not see. You have a kind of strength that does not announce itself. It does not ask for attention. It does not wear a sign. It just shows up quietly day after day, doing the work of surviving and hoping and believing, even when believing feels foolish. That is not weakness. That is the rarest kind of strength that exists, and it has been noticed in places you cannot reach with your physical eyes. The stranger who sent the message today was not a person. It was a signal moving through the invisible current that connects all things, carrying one name through the layers of noise and distraction of this world. Your name, not because you are the loudest, not because you have the most, but because of what is growing inside you right now that even you have not fully seen yet. Do not skip this part. This is where the truth starts to come into focus. Hold on, you are almost there. Pay very close attention to what comes next. There is a version of your future that already exists. It is not imaginary. It is not wishful thinking. It has already been laid out in the invisible architecture of your destiny. And the God who designed it does not make mistakes. In that future, the weight you are carrying right now has been lifted. In that future, the doors that feel locked have swung wide open. In that future, the things you have been quietly asking for have arrived. And they arrived in a way that made you realize that the waiting was always part of the plan. Because what came to you was so much bigger than what you had originally hoped for. That future is not far away. It is not on the other side of 10 years of more struggle. It is being built right now. Right now as you listen. Right now as these words reach the part of you that has not given up. Type "I receive this" in the comments if you believe it. Let those words be your declaration to the universe that you are not just a person waiting for life to happen to you. You are a person stepping in to what has already been prepared. Hold on until the very end. Do not scroll. Not now. I need to tell you something that will shake you if you let it really land. Archangel Michael, the warrior of heaven, the guardian of God's chosen ones, is moving in your life right now. Not in a distant, abstract, symbolic way, in a real and active way. He moves in the lives of people who have been through battles that others could not see. He moves in the lives of people who have carried burdens without complaint. He moves in the lives of people who have been overlooked, underestimated, or forgotten by the world around them, but who never stopped believing that something greater was possible. That description fits you. If you are still here reading these words, that description fits you because the people who needed to scroll away already did, but you are still here. And that means something. Do not skip. The next part of this message will reveal something that will make your heart beat faster. Hold on until the very end. You are about to find something that changes the way you see everything that has happened to you. Think about the hardest moment of the last year of your life. Think about the moment when you were closest to walking away from the dream, from the hope, from the belief that things could be different. Now I want to tell you something that you may not have considered. That moment was not evidence that God had forgotten you. That moment was the exact place where something extraordinary was being planted in you. You know how seeds look when they are buried. They look like they are finished. They look like something that was once living has been placed in the ground to disappear. But that is not what is happening. What looks like burial is actually the beginning of the most powerful growth cycle in the natural world. You are not buried. You are being planted, and what is about to come up from the ground of your life will be so alive, so vibrant, so undeniably full of divine blessing that the people who watched you go through the hard seasons will struggle to explain what they are seeing. Pay close attention. Do not move. Do not scroll, because this is not just poetry. This is a prophetic reality that is already in motion. Hold on until the very end. Let me ask you something. When you woke up today, did you know you were going to encounter a message like this one? Of course, you did not. You probably were not even thinking about it. That is how God works in the lives of the people He has marked for a specific purpose. He does not send a calendar invite. He does not give you a week to prepare. He meets you exactly where you are in the middle of your ordinary Tuesday or Thursday or whichever day this is finding you. And He says, right now, this moment, pay attention. This is that moment for you. The timing of your eyes landing on this message was not accidental. The way you hesitated before scrolling past and then came back to it was not accidental. The feeling that is happening inside your chest right now as you read these words is not accidental. This is called divine appointment, and you are standing inside one. Do not skip a single line. Stay with me. Hold on until the very end. You are about to find out something very important. Now, I want to speak to the part of you that is afraid to hope, because that part exists in you. I know it does. It exists in everyone who has hoped before and been disappointed. Everyone who has believed before and had to wait longer than they expected. everyone who has prayed, and then had to pray again and again before the answer came. That part of you learned to protect itself by keeping its expectations quiet, by not getting too excited, by reminding yourself of all the times things did not go the way you thought they would. But here is what I need you to hear. Your history of delays is not proof that you are not chosen. It is proof that what is coming for you is too significant to be rushed. God does not delay the blessings of ordinary people. He delays the blessings of people whose ability to receive and carry and steward those blessings is still being expanded. You have been in an expansion season, and the expansion is almost complete. Do not scroll. Do not skip. Hold on until the end. The next part will reveal exactly what is being prepared for you. Here is the part that will stay with you long after this video ends. You were chosen not despite your wounds, but in part because of them. Every scar on your spirit, every place where disappointment left its mark, every area of your life where you had to rebuild from something broken, those are not blemishes on your testimony. They are credentials. They are proof of a process. They are evidence that you have the kind of character that can hold the weight of what heaven is preparing to release into your life. Because here is the truth that most people never understand about divine blessing. The weight of a blessing matches the strength of the person who receives it. You do not give someone who has never lifted anything 1,000 pounds to carry. You build the person first. You take them through seasons of smaller weights. You grow their muscles and their endurance and their ability to carry without breaking. And then, when they are ready, you hand them something that would have crushed who they used to be. You are not who you used to be. The person you were 2 years ago could not have carried what you are about to receive, but who you are right now. After everything you have been through, after all the ways you have been stretched and tested and refined, you are ready. Type "I am ready" in the comments if you believe this is true for your life. Seal it. Make it real. Hold on until the very end. Do not skip. The most important part is still coming. Before we reach the final wave of this message, I want to pause for just a moment, because right now there is someone else. Someone you will never meet. Someone sitting in their car at midnight, or lying in bed unable to sleep, or walking through a day that feels completely impossible. And they need to find a message exactly like this one. This work exists for that person. For the one who is right at the edge of giving up and needs one more thing to hold on to. For the one whose name heaven is speaking tonight in a room they cannot see. If what you have heard so far has meant something to you, if it has touched something real inside you, then you already understand the value of what this kind of content carries. Now, let us go to the deepest part of this message. This is where I need your full attention. Do not blink too long. Do not scroll at all, because what comes next is the part that has been building since the very first word. The reason God chose this moment to speak to you. It is not because your life is perfect. It is not because you have arrived at some spiritual milestone. It is not because you said all the right prayers in all the right ways. It is because of something far simpler and far more powerful than any of that. It is because your spirit has been quietly turning, quietly shifting, quietly moving from one version of your life to another. And heaven recognized the exact moment when the shift had progressed far enough to release what has been stored up for you. That moment is now, not next month. Not when you figure everything out, not when you feel more prepared or more worthy or more together. Now, as you sit exactly where you are as your life looks exactly the way it looks, as your questions remain unanswered and your heart continues to hope, now is when Archangel Michael steps in. Now is when the spiritual current around your life changes direction. Do not skip. Hold on until the very end. I want to paint you a picture of what is moving toward you right now. Imagine a river that has been building behind a dam for a long time. The pressure has been growing. The water has been rising. And the people standing downstream do not know it yet. But the dam is about to open. You are the person standing downstream, and what is being released is not a trickle. It is not a gentle stream. It is the full force of everything that has been accumulating in the spiritual reserves of your life while you are waiting, praying, enduring, believing and holding on. Peace that has been waiting to enter the parts of your life still marked by anxiety. Clarity that has been waiting to replace the confusion about what your next step should be. Relationships that carry real depth and real love and real consistency moving toward you, even as you read these words. Provision that meets needs you have not even fully voiced out loud yet, and a sense of purpose so clear and so alive that you will wonder how you ever lived without feeling it this strongly. This is what is moving toward the life of someone who has stayed faithful through the seasons that tried to break them. This is what is moving toward you. Pay close attention. Do not move. Do not scroll. Hold on until the very end. There is one final truth I need to deliver to you before this message reaches its close. And it is the truth that ties everything together. You have been waiting for a sign that things are about to change. This is the sign, not in spite of the fact that it found you in the middle of an ordinary day, but because of it, because that is exactly how God moves. Quietly, precisely, without fanfare, right into the middle of your regular life, with something extraordinary hidden. Inside a moment that almost looked like just another Tuesday, you almost scrolled past this, but you did not. And that choice, that small, quiet decision to stay, to pay attention, to give this moment a chance, that decision is a reflection of who you are at your core. A person who still believes, a person who still listens, a person who, in spite of everything that has tried to silence their hope, has kept it alive. Heaven sees that person. Heaven honors that person, and heaven is responding to that person today. Your story is not over. It is not even close to over. The chapters that are coming are the ones that will make the hard chapters make sense. They are the chapters where you finally understand why the road took the turns it took, and you see how each one was leading you here to this season, to this version of yourself ready to receive what you could not have held before. Do not skip. Do not leave this moment yet. Hold on until the very end. You are standing inside the most important moment of this entire message right now. As these final words reach you, I want you to do one thing. Close your eyes for just a moment. If you can take a single slow breath and say this out loud or inside your heart, I release the weight of the waiting. I open my hands to receive what is coming. I trust the timing that I cannot fully see. I am ready. That is not just a set of words. That is an activation. That is the sound of a heart that has chosen to move from surviving into receiving. And heaven hears it. Now open your eyes, because the next season of your life has already begun. If this message reached something real inside you today, there is something simple and powerful you can do right now. Like this video, not as a favor to an algorithm, but as an act of agreement, as a way of saying, yes, this is true. This matters. This reached me. Leave a comment. Type whatever is in your heart right now. I receive this. I am ready. Thank you. Your words in that comment section carry more energy than you realize. They become part of what the next person finds when they arrive at this video on the night they need it most. Your comment becomes a hand extended toward a stranger. That is a sacred thing. Subscribe and turn on notifications, not because of content strategy, but because these messages are sent for a reason at a time for a person. When the next one comes, you deserve to receive it. Stay connected to the signal that is already speaking into your life. Go now into your day, into your night, into whatever is next for you, and carry this with you. Your name was spoken in heaven today. The answer is already in motion, and you are more ready than you know. Chosen ones, what I'm about to share with you tonight may awaken something deep in your spirit. If you are listening to this right now, understand this clearly. It is not by chance. God has led you here intentionally. There is a divine encounter prepared for you, one that has been waiting for this very night at 300 a.m. When the world is quiet, when most voices have gone silent, when the air feels still, God is calling you to meet with Him. Not as a spectator, not as someone standing at a distance, but as a child coming close to the Father. This isn't just another night. This is your chance, your divine opportunity to open your heart completely and talk to God about what you've been carrying. Your struggles, your pain, your stress, your financial pressures, your private worries that you don't even know how to explain to anyone else. You might feel tired. You might be tempted to shut your eyes and slip back into sleep. But tonight, He is waiting for you to pour out your soul and release all that has been holding you back. Only 1% of the chosen ones will understand the depth of this call, and if you're here, you are among them. Scripture says, pour out your heart before Him. God is a refuge for us. Psalm 6:2-8. That's not poetic language. That's an invitation, and tonight it becomes personal. Now, before we go deeper, I want you to do something simple but meaningful. If this message is speaking to you, tap the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment with the number 99. Not because a number is magic, not because a comment controls heaven, but because participation matters. It helps this message reach the person who is desperately searching for hope at the same hour you're being called. It's a small act of agreement, a way of saying, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm responding. And tonight, response is everything. In the stillness of the night, a profound invitation is waiting for you. This is not just any call. It is a divine summons meant to awaken your spirit and draw you into the presence of the Creator. At 300 a.m., there are moments in life when God doesn't just nudge you, He calls you. There are moments when you can feel it in your chest before you can explain it with your mind. Something extraordinary happens in these sacred hours, a moment of spiritual significance unlike ordinary time. It is during these hours that God reaches out to His chosen ones, not to entertain them, not to impress them, but to shape them, strengthen them, and prepare them. Imagine what it means to have a personal meeting with the Almighty. A moment where you can hear His voice without the usual static. Where guidance becomes clear, where your heart is steadied, where fear is confronted, and where you're empowered for what's ahead. But here is the truth. Many people don't want to accept. Not everyone answers this call. Not everyone even recognizes it. God is calling a remnant, a small portion. The kind of people who can sense when heaven is near. Only 1% will understand the depth of this invitation. And if you're still here, still listening, it may be because you're among them. This divine call is a test, but not the kind meant to shame you. It is a test that reveals what you truly value. Will you stay awake? Will you set aside distractions? Will you choose the unseen over what feels comfortable? In these early hours when most of the world sleeps, God is awake, ready to reveal himself in the most intimate way. This moment is an opportunity to realign your life, to receive wisdom, to receive strength, to receive direction, and to step into the next part of your journey with a clarity you've been missing. The Lord is near to all who call on him, to all who call on him in truth. Psalm 145 verse 18. Tonight isn't about performance, it's about truth. It's about coming to him honestly. It's easy to overlook the significance of the hours between 300 a.m. and 500 a.m. because the world treats them like dead hours, meaningless hours, empty space between yesterday and tomorrow. But in the spiritual realm, these are not empty hours. These are hours of transition, hours when heaven's whisper becomes easier to hear. If you're watching this now, chances are you've already been selected for something deeper than routine. The stillness of the night is your cue. It's as if God has prepared a seat for you at the table of destiny, waiting for you to come close, ready to listen, ready to receive, ready to embrace what he wants to reveal. But are you prepared for what's about to happen? Can you carry the weight of divine instruction without rushing, without doubting, without running back to familiar patterns? The 1%, the chosen ones, are not perfect people. They are faithful people. They are people who kept seeking even when answers seemed delayed. People who kept praying even when nothing changed overnight. People who kept believing even after disappointment. And now the time has arrived for a divine visitation, not as a reward for being flawless, but as a response to perseverance. God's visitations always come with purpose. He is not visiting to say hello. He is visiting to strengthen you, to guide you, to heal you, to reveal what you couldn't see before. He gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might, he increases strength. Isaiah 4:29. That's what this night can become. A transfer of strength to the weary. Have you ever wondered why you wake up at 300 a.m. for no reason at all? You look around, everything is dark. Everyone else is asleep, and you can't explain why your eyes are open. For many of the chosen ones, that isn't random. It is a divine awakening, a sign that God wants to speak. There are moments when the veil of distraction is thinner, when your soul is quieter, when your spirit is more sensitive. God's calling often comes when we least expect it. In the quiet, in the stillness, when we are most honest, most vulnerable, and most open to receiving his word. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. John 10:27. This is not about simply waking up. It is about being spiritually alert and responsive. Have you felt urgency in your spirit lately? A pull to seek more. A craving for something deeper than surface-level living? That's not coincidence. God is calling you, and this invitation can become a turning point. It's time to stop questioning every nudge and start listening for the direction behind it. When you wake up during these hours, you don't need to feel confused or annoyed. You can choose to embrace the moment as a divine appointment. Don't ignore it. Don't push it away. Take it seriously. Because this could be the time God reveals the message you've been praying for, the correction you need, the comfort you've been longing for, or the courage you've been missing. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 4:10. Stillness is not emptiness. Stillness is a meeting place. From 300 a.m. to 500 a.m., something supernatural can happen. These hours are often called the fourth watch of the night, a time when spiritual activity is at its peak, a sacred window with profound significance. In Scripture, Watches of the night carried meaning, especially the final watch before dawn, the time when darkness is about to break. Spiritually, it represents a shift from confusion to clarity, from heaviness to light, from delay to movement. Weeping may tarry for the night, but joy comes with the morning. Psalm 35. The fourth watch sits right on that edge, and God often meets people right at the edge. In a world full of noise, these quiet hours offer you an opportunity to be directly in God's presence. Why this specific time? Because it is a moment of transition. The night is nearly over and the day is about to break. And that's how many of you feel inside, like you've been in a long night season, like you've been waiting, enduring, trying to hold on. God is poised to reveal direction you've been seeking, but He calls you to be still, to listen, to receive, and to accept His guidance. These hours are charged with holy purpose, offering a rare space to receive the revelations you've been waiting for. In this time, God is not only giving answers, He is building you, preparing you, and strengthening you for what comes next. Imagine receiving a personal invitation from God Himself. This is not a metaphor or an abstract concept. It can become a real encounter that changes you. God has chosen you and wants to meet you in the quiet. This moment is often reserved for those who have been faithful, those who have waited patiently, those who are truly seeking Him. A divine visitation is life-altering. It's not just a fleeting thought. It's not just a dream you forget by lunch. It is an encounter with the One who made you. And His presence has power to heal, guide, and answer the questions you've been afraid to ask out loud. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147:3. He does not shame wounds. He binds them. When God chooses to visit you, He does not do so lightly. His visitations are intentional and they carry deep purpose. You will receive strength to face challenges, direction for decisions, wisdom for relationships, and peace for storms. What you experience in this moment can stay with you, fueling spiritual growth and preparing you for the mission ahead. God does not call everyone into this level of encounter, not because He doesn't love everyone, but because not everyone is ready to respond. The 300 a.m. hour is set apart for a specific purpose, a moment where God reveals mysteries, exposes hidden obstacles, and shines light on your future steps. If you find yourself awake and stirred, know this. It is not an accident. This is a moment of divine privilege, but also responsibility, because being chosen is not only about being comforted, it is also about being entrusted. You have been selected for something greater than what you could imagine. And the question is not whether God can do it, but whether you are willing to step into it. To whom much is given, much will be required. Luke 12:48. That sounds heavy, but it's also hopeful, because it means heaven sees capacity in you. God sees what you can carry with Him. For those who are spiritually awake and attentive, these hours can be transformative. The 300 a.m. hour is not just quiet time. It's a time of divine revelation, of receiving answers to prayers, of aligning your heart with God's will. If you're listening now, it may be a sign you are among the chosen. Embrace the moment and allow it to change you in ways that last. In a world that feels crowded and chaotic, being chosen by God is a rare and precious gift. The invitation may be invisible to others, but it is unmistakable in your spirit. God in His wisdom looks beyond the surface and sees what people miss. He sees your endurance. He sees your hunger. He sees your heart. And He calls you into a divine appointment that sharpens your purpose and deepens your faith. Being one of the chosen ones means your heart has been tuned to His voice. Even if life has tried to detune you, It means you've remained steady through seasons that would have broken others. It means you are willing to serve, willing to grow, willing to obey, even when it costs you comfort. God's call to the chosen ones is not passive. It is an ongoing relationship, one where you learn to stay awake, aware, and receptive to His whispers. The secret of the Lord is with those who fear Him, and He will show them His covenant. Psalm 25:14. God shares things with people who will honor them. As one of the chosen, your life is about to undergo transformation. This invitation is not only for a moment. It is the doorway into a life of purpose. Your relationship with God will deepen, and your understanding of His plan will become clearer. It's time to step into the fullness of your calling and embrace what is unfolding. But hear this as well. There are times when the spiritual battle becomes more intense, when darkness seems louder, when discouragement feels close, when fear tries to sit on your chest. These are the moments when God calls you to fight, not with your own strength. The hours between 300 a.m. and 500 a.m. are not only a time of visitation, they are also a peak time of spiritual warfare. Unseen forces try to distract, discourage, and drain you. But God calls you to intercede, to pray, and to stand firm. Put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. Ephesians 6:11. Standing is spiritual work. God has granted you authority in the spiritual realm, and He invites you to use that authority in the most powerful way. Prayer. When you pray during these hours, you are engaging in warfare on behalf of your life, your family, your community, and your future. The enemy wants confusion, but God releases clarity. The enemy wants fear, but God releases courage. The enemy wants you silent, but God calls you to speak. Through prayer, strongholds can be dismantled. Cycles can be broken. Generational patterns can lose their grip, and the atmosphere over your life can shift. This is not ordinary prayer time. This is the time to bring your deepest burdens to God and claim the victory He has already promised. The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be silent. Exodus 14:14. Sometimes the fight is not frantic striving, it is faithful alignment. When God speaks to the chosen ones, He does so with purpose and clarity. The hours between 300 a.m. and 500 a.m. are sacred moments when divine secrets are revealed. These aren't random insights. They are the kind of revelation that shapes your destiny, clarifies your next steps, and reveals the deeper meaning behind what you've endured. God's voice during this time is not always loud, but it is undeniable. As you wait in stillness, God begins to unlock what has eluded you. What seemed confusing starts to make sense. What felt blocked begins to open. The path that looked foggy becomes visible. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Psalm 119 verse 105, that is what revelation does. It lights the next step. During this divine visitation, God is not only sharing secrets, He is empowering you to walk in purpose. You receive wisdom that cannot be manufactured by logic alone. You receive direction that fits your life with exactness. These moments are crucial because they guide decisions that can change the trajectory of your future. There is something profoundly life-changing about the instructions God gives when you are fully tuned in. The 300 a.m. hour is often when distractions are at their lowest and your heart is more open. In this encounter, God can speak directly to your spirit and give you precise instruction that leads into breakthrough. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to still souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history, it is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. Have you ever felt a deep inner stirring? Like God is urging you to move, to step forward, to change direction, to release something, to start something. This is often the hour when those instructions become clear. God's guidance is not vague when you draw near. It is specific, actionable, and aligned with His will. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. Straight paths do not always mean easy paths, but they mean guided paths. And when God gives direction, He also gives power to obey it. These instructions may challenge you, but they will never destroy you. They will build you. They will mature you. They will free you. As you step into God's plan, your life won't remain the same. This encounter can be the moment where everything changes, where you receive clarity, courage, and direction to move forward in faith, knowing God is with you. Being awake during these sacred hours is not only physical, it is spiritual. It means you are positioned to receive what God wants to impart. The 300 a.m. hour is a divine appointment, but it requires your attention, your heart, your presence. This is not the time to let your mind drift into anxiety loops or distraction. This is the time to fully embrace God's presence, to be open to His voice, and to allow His power to move through you. Prepare for it. Seek peace, remove distractions, make space. Because when you make space, God fills it. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. Rest is not always sleep. Sometimes rest is surrender. A divine encounter with God is not only a moment of awakening, it is a moment of transformation. God's presence changes you from the inside out. When God meets you in the night, what seemed impossible begins to look different. Burdens lift, perspective shifts, hope returns. You walk away with renewed purpose, fresh energy, and clarity. Transformation is not temporary when it comes from God. It touches every area of life. Fear melts, doubt weakens. Insecurity loses its voice. If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. 2 Corinthians 5:17. That is not a slogan. That is a spiritual reality. The 300 a.m. hour is not just visitation. It is the kind of sacred moment where prayer is intensified, where revelation is unlocked, where God speaks to the deepest places of your heart. This is where your questions become honest and your desires become exposed before Him. Not to embarrass you, but to heal you, guide you and strengthen you. Prayer spoken here is not routine. It is heartfelt. It is raw. It is real. It's the kind of prayer that moves you. And when you are moved, you begin to change. God meets you in this space, listening, responding, guiding. If burdens weigh on you, whether relationships, finances, personal battles, hidden grief, or private shame, bring them here. Cast all your anxieties on Him because He cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7. He cares not in theory, but in practice. Prophetic insight often rises in moments like this, in stillness. God can reveal pieces of your future, not as entertainment, but as preparation. He may highlight someone you need to pray for. He may reveal an area of your life needing healing. He may give you a warning, a promise, a direction. These revelations carry weight. They can shift the course of your life if you honor them. Write them down. Pray over them. Reflect on them. Don't treat them casually. Do not despise prophecies, but test everything. Hold fast what is good. 1 Thessalonians 5:20-21. God is not afraid of examination. He is inviting maturity. As one of the chosen, you also carry responsibility in the fourth watch. This is more than a personal encounter. It is spiritual defense. The enemy looks for ways to steal, kill, and destroy. But God calls you to stand firm in His protection and guard your spiritual ground. This is not passive waiting. This is active participation. Your prayers in this hour can break chains, dismantle strongholds, and push back darkness. God trusts you to stand in the gap, to protect what He has entrusted to you, and to defend the promise over your life. I sought for a man among them who should build up the wall and stand in the breach before me. Ezekiel 20:30. Standing in the gap is holy work. Receiving God's 3 Havam. Invitation is profound, but it is only the beginning. The real work begins when you align your life with what He shows you. Responding to God's call means stepping into a new way of living, one that reflects His purpose. It requires obedience, not perfection. It requires courage, not comfort. You may need to make hard choices. Take bold steps. Leave behind what no longer serves your growth. But when you align with God, there is a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances and a fulfillment that doesn't depend on applause. Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Matthew 6:33. Alignment brings addition. Not always instantly, but faithfully. Waking up at 300 a.m. may feel inconvenient, but what if it's a divine appointment? Not insomnia, not random, not meaningless. God may be drawing you closer at that exact moment because He wants your attention and your trust. The stillness of early morning creates a space where distractions are fewer and your heart can hear more clearly. God may have something specific to share. Encouragement, correction, strategy, comfort, or a vision of what's ahead. The 300 a.m. wake-up is often like a gentle tap on the shoulder from heaven saying, I want to talk with you. Don't rush back to sleep. Don't dismiss it. Take a deep breath. Pause. Pray. Listen. Receive. A divine appointment doesn't come every day, and it rarely comes when we expect it. That's why God calls you in quiet hours. Your willingness to wake up, engage, and be present is part of what unlocks what He wants to do in you. When you pray at 300 a.m., you step into a unique moment of breakthrough. These hours are often anointed for transformation, where barriers that seemed unmovable begin to shift. Yes, spiritual warfare can be intense here, but God's presence is also strong here. The enemy may bring fear and discouragement, but prayer in this hour carries weight. It breaks chains. It shifts atmospheres. It strengthens you where you've been weak. Not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord of hosts. Zechariah 4:6. That is how breakthrough comes. This is also a time to seek guidance. If you are facing challenges that seem too heavy, if dreams feel out of reach, if doors look closed, bring it to God here. He can release answers, strategies, and solutions you couldn't see before. Don't underestimate the power of seeking Him at this hour. God honors the ones who rise to meet Him, not because they earn His love, but because their hunger positions them to receive. Walls begin to crumble. Obstacles become opportunities. The enemy's grip weakens. God's strength increases. The fourth watch, 300 a.m. to 500 a.m. is sacred, not because the clock is holy, but because God often uses the quiet to speak and the transition to move. Spiritual activity intensifies. Divine interventions become possible and for many expected. Scripture is filled with moments where God moved in the night, where deliverance came unexpectedly, where answers arrived at the edge of morning. Understanding the significance of this time helps you position yourself not just to stay awake, but to stay attentive, to listen, to receive, to respond. Meeting God in early morning hours can unlock revelations tied to your purpose and even the destiny of those around you. God may reveal what you need for your family, what you need for your future, what you need for your calling. These revelations are personal. They are tailored to your circumstances and your struggles. If you've been uncertain, God can steady you. If you've been afraid, God can strengthen you. If you've been lost, God can guide you. The steps of a man are established by the Lord when he delights in his way. Psalm 37:23. God does not leave you guessing forever. God's early morning encounters are also designed to refine your faith. Faith grows when you respond in the unseen, when you trust without needing immediate proof, when you answer God's call at 300 a.m. You step into a process of spiritual growth. Doubt begins to lose its grip, fear begins to shrink, confidence begins to rise, not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you know who is with you. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and self-control. 2 Timothy 1:7. That is what he releases in these moments. Power, love, stability. Understanding God's timing is one of the most powerful lessons in the spiritual journey. It's not just about waiting. It's about aligning. God is not late. God is not early. He moves with perfect wisdom. Meeting him in these early hours can bring clarity for relationships, work decisions, personal direction, and hidden battles. When you align with his timing, you align with his will, and his will always leads toward life. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. Hope is not a fantasy. Hope is a promise. And finally, chosen one. Hear this. Doubt and fear are two of the enemy's favorite tools. They keep you stuck. They keep you hesitant. They keep you small. But when you meet God in the quiet of the night, those tools begin to break. God's presence brings peace that silences the noise in your mind. As you seek him, he replaces fear with faith, worry with confidence, and insecurity with assurance. Fear no longer gets to paralyze you. You are strengthened to step forward with courage, not because you suddenly feel fearless, but because you trust the one who is leading you. Be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. That is the foundation of courage, God with you. So tonight when 300 a.m. arrives, remember this is not just a strange wake-up. It may be an invitation, a holy interruption, a divine appointment. God is calling you to come close, to speak honestly, to listen carefully, to receive deeply, and to leave that encounter changed. Stay awake, stay open, stay willing, because the moment you respond may become the moment everything starts to shift and chosen one. As we close this message, I want you to hear this clearly. If this message has touched your heart, if it stirred your spirit, if it reminded you that God is still moving, still speaking, still restoring, and still writing your story, then listen. You are about to enter your divine future, but remember this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." On this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall, share your heart, and as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now, join the family, and see your heavens open. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected, faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment, a place where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.